Welcome to the Daily's Double Shot.
I'm Andre Stackhouse.
And I'm Lauren Lemieux.
First up this week, we head to the Seattle Aquarium where UW researchers presented at Family Science Weekend.
Stuart Melantis talks about internet music services on Tech Talk.
Reporter Austin Siedentopf sits down for an interview with UW President Michael Young.
Husky basketball's very own Desmond Simmons talks about his progress so far this season.
David Chrisman reviews a new movie, The Descendants.
Students and faculty honor Veterans Day.
And we speak with a group of students who practice parkour.
All coming up
on today's Double Shot.
Ooh, what is that? Try to see.
Yeah.
I'll see you there.
Okay.
We start off today with a visit to the Seattle Aquarium.
UW researchers presented at Family Science Weekend.
Let's check it out.
The Seattle Aquarium recently hosted its 4th annual Family Science Weekend. Event manager Becky Bingham tells us more.
It's a very special event to us because it's bringing the science to people that don't normally think about science as something that is fun. They think of science as a big, scary word, and our goal is to really get people from all over, University of Washington, NOAA, and our own scientists to be able to showcase that what they do is fun and exciting and that anyone can be a scientist.
The event spans a large portion of the aquarium and is filled with fun demos and activities.
This weekend we have a lot of fun exhibits focusing on both the science that we do here at the aquarium as well as some outside exhibits that talk about rockfish. We have a special remote operated vehicle or ROV exhibit.
Researchers from all over came to take part in the event.
We have several from NOAA, both at Sandpoint and Alaska NOAA Fisheries. We've also had the University of Washington oceanography students, the Applied Physics Lab, been able to join us, and we have a group from King County that does water monitoring coming as well.
Here, UW Professor Fritz Starr shows off an ROV or remote operated vehicle in one of the aquarium tanks. The vehicle is controlled by a nearby driver and has a camera that broadcasts footage to a large screen. In the next room, visitors may build and operate their own ROVs. Another station teaches children about plankton by having them build models and see how they sink or float in water. UW graduate student Jason Miller manned this informative table on ocean acidification and its effect on marine wildlife.
We talk a lot at the table about how CO2, or any gas for that matter, can mix in the surface layer of the ocean. But we also have the pH bit of our table where we try and show kids, that water has a higher pH than lemon juice, those kinds of things.
With Family Science Weekend, the Seattle Aquarium hopes to get kids excited about science and teach them about ocean conservation. So far, they have been very successful.
Because it's exciting. It's fun to teach folks, to have their eyes show an understanding of what you're conveying. It's satisfying.
We're extremely happy. We've had really good attendance and we've had a lot of kids very excited about science and just getting involved and learning that it's easy to do science. Unfortunately, it's one of the more ignored topics in our society today, and we're just glad to be able to get kids excited about it again.
The Seattle Aquarium is an active and important part of our community. Be sure to look out for other events.
That was so cool. I'll be taking a trip to the aquarium soon.
Yeah, it's a pretty awesome place.
Next, let's join Stuart Melantis with a brand new episode of Tech Talk about free music.
The internet is radically changing the music industry. The sheer amount of music available online is staggering. It can be a hassle to find music that you enjoy, but thankfully there are a lot of websites that provide that service, and each has its own distinct flair. Grooveshark is simple but effective. Search for a song and play the song. Its catalog is massive, its interface is straightforward, and you can stream unlimited amounts of music for free. Spotify is very similar to Grooveshark, although you must download an application to use it. Its interface is a little cleaner, but there are limits to how much music you can listen to for free. Also, it's very tightly integrated with Facebook, which for me has resulted in a huge amount of automatically generated posts on what my friends are listening to. Pandora has been around for a while, but remains quite popular. It's pretty restrictive on what you can do. You create stations based around an artist or genre, and can only skip a very small number of times per hour. Yet it does its job well and recommends music that really does pertain to the station you've built. MOG is for the audiophiles. It streams most of its music at the highest bitrate of any of these sites, so it sounds fantastic. It also has a limited free offering and a huge library of songs, but not as many as Spotify or Grooveshark. Rdio is almost identical to MOG, although the library is smaller and the quality lower. Last.fm is one of the most robust sites for recommendations and information on artists. It includes a vast amount of data: biographies, tour dates, photos, and more. It also has apps to scrabble your music. Scrabbling is when the song you're listening to is sent to Last.fm and added to your profile. Last.fm can then use this information to recommend new music, or you can share it with your friends. Last.fm also includes a nice internet radio service similar to Pandora. SoundCloud is one of the greatest contributors to the distribution of indie music on the internet. In fact, it powers many other music discovery websites. Each song's waveform is visible and rendered as you play the track, and you can add comments at different points in the song to highlight something you particularly enjoy. Think of SoundCloud as the YouTube of music. Turntable FM is a recent and intriguing music streaming website. The concept is centered around rooms. Each room has 5 DJs who either upload music from their own computers or select tracks from Turntable's sizable library. Then the DJs take turns playing tracks, usually to a theme, like electronic, hip-hop, or rock. Listeners can rate tracks as lame or awesome. If a track gets enough lame votes, it's skipped, and the next DJ gets a turn. Turntable FM is a unique experience and is very fun to use. The community aspect makes you feel connected to the music, and you can hear both mainstream tracks and indie tunes you've never heard before. If you're looking for new and fresh indie music, check out We Are Hunted. It features a side-scrolling interface filled with 99 tiles, each a single track. The 99 songs are the current most popular based on social media coverage. It even includes a few tracks as free downloads. The 61 takes an even more focused approach. The entire screen is filled with artwork, photography, and information about the current track. You can skip tracks if you'd like, but you can always go back. The site describes itself as a musical adventure, and I believe it achieves that goal. If you'd like to experience the music scene from any particular city, check out City Sounds. You can select a city, or you can simply stream music from your own. 8 Tracks is a pretty self-explanatory music streaming site. Users create playlists of 8 or more different tracks, and listeners can subscribe if they enjoy the selection. There are seriously great mixes on the site, stuff that no algorithm would choose. Shuffler FM focuses on music blogs. For each song you play, it brings up a blog post talking about it. You can then read information on the artist or track as you listen. Shuffler is an active experience, and I wouldn't recommend it for running music in the background. This is by no means a comprehensive list of all the sites out there for listening to and discovering music. That's one of the great things about the internet and music. There's something out there to satisfy anyone's tastes. This episode of Tech Talk was partly inspired by the list of streaming sites on collegeinfogeek.com. Please visit their website for a list of 37 different choices. Thanks for watching Tech Talk. Please direct comments or questions to techtalk@stuartmerlantis.com. See you next time.
Hey, Lauren. Hey, Lauren!
Oh, sorry. There's just so much free music on the internet.
Well, that's great, but we've got more important things to talk about.
Like what?
How about UW President Michael Young? We've got an interview reflecting on his first quarter at UW.
Oh, well, let's check it out.
Hi, my name is Austin Siedentopf, and I had the opportunity to sit down with President Michael Young in his office and talk to him about his first fall quarter here at UW. Okay, I guess let's start with the basics. How was your first fall quarter here at the University of Washington?
It's been extraordinary. I've had a lot of time to actually both outside and inside the university meet people, go out and meet our supporters and alumni and the business community here in the Seattle area, and a lot of time inside the university meeting faculty and students, and it is an extraordinary place. I mean, I'm just finding out things that are going on. The university has got these global rankings in the top 20 universities in the world, and as you go around and find these pockets of research and the work that's going on, you understand it and know exactly why it's ranked so high, and you then get a sense of how deeply engaged the students are in all of that from the educational perspective. It's an amazing place.
Do you have any particular moments that sort of stand out in your mind?
I had a wonderful moment with the Student Senate, in which they invited me to speak, and so I talked a little bit about the university, and then kind of opened it up to whatever questions they wanted to ask. And it was one of those moments where you think, this is extraordinary, these are the kids who should be in Congress, not the people we have. I mean, the questions were intelligent and informed and insightful, very much to the heart of the academic enterprise. I mean, it was really interesting.
Certainly, we all know that these are rough economic times and that we're cutting costs. I believe you said we're belt choking.
Yeah, past tightening, I think.
Yeah. What is your vision for the future of UW in regards to tuition?
The issue with respect to tuition is a tough one. I think what's changed has been who pays for it. I mean, a decade ago, the state paid about 80% and the students 20% of that money. Now, this year, the students are paying 70% and the state's paying 30%. What we're lobbying very hard for is that the state stop cutting and not cut financial aid either, because both of those, for reasons of both the quality of the education and access, are absolutely critical. If we can't get that hemorrhaging to stop, there certainly will inevitably be some additional tuition increases, though we hope that we can ensure that those tuition increases don't push people off the table. I mean, last year we put 48% more money into financial aid to ameliorate some of the difficulties that occasioned for some students. But a lot's going to depend on what happens in the budget.
As a student, with several other students that I've spoken with, we sort of feel like, at least the ones I've spoken with, that tuition is sort of this giant idea that's sort of floating over our heads, and that we're sort of separate from it. What can your average student do to get involved in the process of keeping their tuition reasonable?
Well, two things. One is the student government actually is working down in Olympia pretty extensively with some ideas about how both to allow this university to save more money and to develop, to operate more efficiently, which would help us reduce costs even further. And secondly, some ideas for revenue enhancement. And so there are lots of opportunities to work with student government to essentially lobby the legislature on behalf of the future of the state. Secondly, we do have a pretty extensive consultation process in the spring, as I understand it. I think it'd be wonderful to have students there as more active participants. We also need ideas. I mean, the reaction of most thoughtful students when you start talking about this is, look, we don't want our tuition to go up, and we certainly don't want to raise it, but we don't want to compromise the quality of education for a couple of $100s a quarter, because it is our education for the rest of our life. So if people can help us think through ways in which we can keep the costs low or reduce them, which we've been pretty successful at, that can help as well. So there's kind of those paths where I think students could really be involved and be helpful.
Thank you so much for agreeing to speak with us, President.
My pleasure. Thank you.